We were moving the parts and flattening. Alright, let's go and quickly arrange the final shape of the teeth and go back to gum. So, first of all, let me enable the floor, and one by one, let's change the shape using move brush. This one goes a little bit more down. Shift and make it pointier. This one maybe a little bit more down to connect with this bone. Also this one. All right, and this part. All right, disable the floor and let's start with the inflate maybe, or maybe collide build up with the alt selected, remove, then build up a little bit gum here. And let's remove a little bit of this bone structure and hide that behind the teeth. Switch back to build up, then gum. Yeah, the structure is on way again, so let me solo that. and make it really, really thin. Back to gum. With the clay build up, now we can freely sculpt the gum. Alright, let's go and maybe duplicate this teeth. So select that and add one more teeth here. So duplicate, move, Alt reset, move this one here, and Alt click, reset. Yeah, something like this. Switch back to gum with the build up, holding Alt and removing and bringing back some of these gum. With the shift, a little bit of smoothing. All right. And smoothing all the way. So now let me make that solo. And let's see, switch to flatten and flat some of these parts. Then, because it's a mess right now, let's go delete the lower, maybe. Yeah, delete the lower subdivision. Switch back to the remesher, the remesher, half remesh. Again. Little bit of smoothing here and here. And same, remesh. Now it's a little bit more organized. Alright, now let's go and add some sculpting on top of the teeth. So here, let me hit Control D several times with the flatten. Let's make that look like a fang and a little bit of flat. The sides. D. Maybe with the Alt. Build up a little bit, then flat that out. Again, did a bit of subdivision. That's a rough sculpting for now. We're gonna make fine details after arranging everything and make them almost look like concept. Control D. Maybe a little bit of build up with the holding Alt and destroying the surface. This time, let's go and use inflate to make it a little bit more thick. Then switch back to edge polish and make it flat. The side. Let's make that bigger as well. Then switch to edge polish. And then the last one. Alright, now switch back to gum, but inflate. And let's go with the polish. So let's make them polished. And smooth. And a little bit of inflate. Alright, let's go for this bottom ones. Alright. Now, maybe a little bit more of this bone here. It's guard. Let's solo that. Maybe with the edge polish, holding Alt, make that pop out. Then a little bit of edge polishing. Okay, not that bad. Gum needs more work and a little bit more texture that we can add in the um, fine edge, fine detail sculpting part. This is just a rough sculpt. Maybe a little bit of move at the end. A little bit of bone. See through the gum. Right, and polish at the end. Enough to touch the bone. Alright, let's go and polish the bone again. A little bit more at the top. Well, that's really too thin. And let's make it down. Just bring back down a little bit. Alright. Something like this. Now back to bone, to gum, and maybe showing a little bit of bone through the gum in some places is not that bad. All right, now let's go for some. Let's see the concept again. Maybe a little bit less gum here. Or more of this teeth. So let's hold Alt and build up. And let me make this one a little bit bigger. And rotate. Yeah, something like this. And also this one. Alt click, reset, reset. Make it a little bit bigger. And rotate. All right. Good. Maybe a little bit sculpt at the ends. And a little bit gum around them. All right, now let's see here. Yeah. Let's go even further. All right, and with the move brush, spinning gum, and position that to be something like this. All right, not bad. In the next part, let's go for some fine details. I'm guessing one teeth short, so let me go and select this one and make a duplicate and move. Yep. And move this one as well. Right, back to gum. Now with the Alt, inflate. With the Alt, let's remove some of these areas. Also, I believe we need to have a little bit more curve here. So let's select this one. Let's go to the move brush and move that up, down here. A little bit thicker here. And a little bit thicker for this one as well. Right, back to gum. And we de-inflate, Alt, maybe a little bit of a smoothing, let's push back this part, bring back a little bit of this at the end of the each tooth, and Maybe a little bit here. And let's make this one more curvy. The move brush, grab the end and push it into place. Yeah, back to gum. With the inflate, holding Alt. Alright, now this one is in the way, so let me go for some polish and polish that back out. Back to gum, maybe with the polish. And inflate. Alright, and maybe a little polish here. Bring back and polish. Alright. That's not half bad. Alright. Good. Now let's review these directions and one by one. So with the move brush, reset with Alt, holding Alt and click on these two. Reset position, reset angle. Also, you can hold the Alt and move the gizmo down a little bit, something like this. Reset. Right, this one. And next. Maybe this one needs to be rotate something in this direction, maybe. a little bit, something like this. All right, and those needs to be a little bit more curve at the end. So select them with a big brush at the middle, at the end, middle, and switch between those to make it more curve. And maybe a little bit thicker. All right, nice. Now let me switch to gum, solo that, and maybe a little bit of review on the shape. It's not that bad. Just needs to be a little bit trim at maybe this part with the shift and smooth. And make this mesh smoother at the edges. And do the smoothness at the top when it goes between the teeth. And yeah, it's good. Now let's review the handle. First of all, we move this part a little bit up, close. Together. Maybe this part, just like that. Yeah. Let me work on this bump right here. First of all, smooth and flat that. Just like that. Alright, not bad. Now let's go and add a little bit of fine details. And starting maybe with the hand. Solo. And let's see what we have inside the... let's start by a standard brush and change the alpha to something maybe a little bit looks something like this. Yeah, that is good. but we need to carve in, so I'm gonna switch to the sub instead of holding the Alt key. And randomly add some strokes. This is a little bit too low, so let me go back, hit Ctrl D once, and yeah, it's good. And yeah, go to the other parts, maybe this part, add a little bit right there. Yeah, too low, so let me hit Ctrl D. And randomly add some stroke. Not bad. Now let's switch to edge polish. And with the holding Alt, switch between negative and positive polishing. If you wanted to have more harsh effect with the edge polish, just switch to maybe alpha 59, and that's gonna make it a little bit more harsh. Right, this one, but it's gonna covered with the same material as gum. I'm not gonna work too much on that. All right, maybe a little bit build up down here, then flatten out, make it pointy, and yeah. Next, the gum. So for the gum, first of all, let me hit several Control Ds and increase the resolution subdiff. Maybe let's go for same standard material with different noise. See what we have here. Maybe this alpha, but with a different brush stroke. Drag, yep. Yeah, that's not bad. But in case I change my mind for the depth, let's go and make a layer. It's on record, so can go and start dragging this. And add some flashy texture. Then, as you can see, the depth is a little bit too much. So now I can go back to the layer and drop that down. All right, it's not committed to the layer yet, so we need to hit bake all to bake that to the gum layer. So now let's switch to polish and make polish for some places. I'm just looking for big shapes because eventually we're gonna make the textures and final bumps inside Substance 3D Painter. Oh, the alpha is enabled, so let me disable the alpha. Right, almost done. Maybe with a little bit of inflate at the edges and make that a little bit more interesting. And this part needs to be moved. And let me keep the handle and gum. So I'm gonna hold shift and click on the eyeball, gum, and you find the handle. All right, let's push that back. Now let's bring back everything by holding shift and click. Now a little bit of smoothing and inflate. All right, not bad at all, except for one thing. This one down here is a little bit off towards the front, so let me move that, make it a little bit bigger, and yeah, here. This one needs to be a little bit thinner with the scale. All right, let's go and push the gum a little bit back here. And also this one. Let's make it thicker. With the reverse edge polish. And let's push this part of the gum and this teeth. Also, what is this? Yeah, that's the bone. Let's make that a little bit thinner. Again, move the gum here. Alright, and let's continue the next part. One small problem with the handle, there's not enough room for a hand to hold the dagger. So let me first select this one and so start with the middle part and with the move brush. Let's move that maybe around here. And this part, move the whole thing here. Maybe even further. So let's move that here, a little bit down. And this part. Let's make the brush smaller. Now this one, then a little bit here. Alright, that's more like it. Now, now, let's review our model. Maybe if I move the gum, maybe in this place a little bit down, this place up, and make it a little bit more random. Yeah, it's nicer now. A little bit more up here. The smaller brush. And this one. This one is a little bit too big. So let's make it smaller, then move it up. And also maybe with the move brush, make them be something a little bit like this. And for the gum, with the flat, let's make the top a little bit thinner because we're gonna use subsurface scattering, and we need some places to be a little bit more thin to light can penetrate through that part. And that part would be the top part. Alright, now let me go and select the standard again. And let's try maybe this alpha. And yeah, but with a new layer. For this part, let me first go and cover that up. Then switch back to standard brush. Right, now let's drop the layer and maybe around here. And bake all. Alright, that's good. Let's go for same thing at the bottom of the teeth. So let's see, what's that? Looks like, nah, I don't like that. So let's change the alpha to maybe this. Change the brush to dots. Bigger brush. And randomly add some brush strokes. And let me, with the inflate, bring back this part. Add a little bit of height difference. Maybe a little bit more height. This one in this part here and here. And yeah. Right, not bad. Next would be the retopology. I'm planning to make a retopology mesh from each mesh to be able to make UV a little bit easier. So clean topology for each one of these meshes, starting with the handle, but in the next part. So for now, let me move this part a little bit closer, and maybe a little bit more dramatic effect here. Also a little bit more here. Almost feel the gap. Maybe a little bit thicker at the end of the handle, and also a little bit thicker here for the bone and for the gum also. Yeah, maybe less gum in the joints. All right, not bad. So next part would be the retopo part, and as I said, I'm gonna make retopo mesh for each one of the parts. So let's see. This is a little bit tricky. Yeah, good. See you in next part.